to a brand new series. With a new game some months off and a need to come up with something fresh, I thought we'd return to the home of our beta saves and have a crack at taking Brann to previously undreamt of heights. First things first, let's take a look at the transfer business I've been able to do in our first window. A number of deals were already completed by the time I took over, so we'll quickly run through them and then get into those that I've made in a little more detail. First out of the door was Jakob Folkestad, a young goalkeeper who may have struggled to make an impact for us. Next out was Andreas Skovgaard, 26-year-old centre-back, and I think he could have done a decent job for us, but I guess now we'll never know. The next day, another centre-back left us in the form of Ole Martin Kolskogen. Not quite as good as Skovgaard, but would have provided a bit of depth, so again, a little disappointed we didn't keep hold of him. On the same day, Philip Moller Delaveris went on loan to Sweden. He certainly is not a starter yet, but hopefully the experience will help him gain playing time at a higher level than the reserve team can offer. The same can also be said of Munga Simba, although in his case I would have liked to have had him available, as I think he could have been a solid backup to Blomberg on the right wing. The last departure was Kasper Skarnets, and once I'd assessed the squad, I just couldn't see where he was going to fit in, and the 375,000 we got for him came in very handy. As for the arrivals, the first of those was Ole Andreas Leinbo, a youngster from Viking, although not one I have high hopes will ever crack the starting lineup. Someone who will, though, is Jafet Seri Larsen, Danish Ivorian, bought from Bodo Glimt for 325,000 and is more than capable at this level of playing the ball out from the back. He has a little potential left in him too, so hopefully he can give us a good few years of service there. Next in, and the last signing before I arrived, is Ulrik Mathisen, a solid if unspectacular central midfielder who will use in the Carolero role as backup to Mura. The first signing I made was Matthias Jakobsen. At 20, he's more for the future, but he will provide cover at centre-back this season. He's not physically imposing, and at $500,000, not exactly a snip either. If he looks expensive, Gonzalo Freitas has to be considered a bargain. We signed him for just 15,000 to provide much needed cover in the defensive midfield role, and I think he would start for many of our rivals in Norway, and I have little doubt he will prove very effective when Heltner Nielsen is unavailable. Joel Kabongo filled in some of the gap at centre-back and will join Jakobsen there as cover. He needs to be kept away from our big matches though, because he struggles in those situations, but he'll do for now. Another bargain signing was Jairo Velez, an Ecuadorian signed from Mexican club Cafetaleros for just 12,500. He should give Castro a real run for his money to start on the left wing. And the window was rounded out with the pickup of William Bjeglerud, 20 years old and signed for free from Grorud. We're training him as a defensive midfielder, but he can provide emergency cover at centre-back. After a confident pre-season spent dispatching lower league opposition, it was time to start the season, and first up was a home game against Haugesund. After some neat Brann build-up down the left, Thorkildsen tricked Rasmussen just inside the box, and the referee pointed to the spot, giving Finner the chance to open Brann's account for the season, which he duly did, dinking his penalty down the middle. 10 minutes later, the referee pointed to the spot again, after Mura stumbled over Riese's challenge, but VAR decided there was no case to answer, and Haugesund were reprieved. That relief didn't last long though, as a great through ball from Castro led to hesitation from Selvik in the Haugesund goal, leaving Finner with a simple finish for his and Brann's second. 12 minutes into the second half, the points were sealed when Castro swung over a corner and Pallison beat 3 defenders to head home the third and complete the scoring. After a good start on the opening day, it took Brann a while to get going at Sandefjord. Finner's free kick that clipped the bar was their only noteworthy effort of the first half. Having adjusted his sights, Brann's star forward was bang on target 5 minutes into the second half, bringing down Mura's ball over the top before firing past the advancing Keto to make it 1-0. Brann grabbed a second when, after some patient passing, Muller-Wolf got the ball on the left, played it forward for Castro, and he crossed for Finner to crash home from the edge of the 6-yard box for another brace and another 3 points for Brann. Both sides had started with 2 wins and were expected to be in the title race come the end of the season, so this was a pivotal early encounter between Brann and Bodø Glimt. The first good chance for either side came after 24 minutes when Mvuka slipped Mumbanya in, but the sting was taken out of his shot by the recovering Pallesen, and Dingeland was able to field it comfortably. It wasn't long before Bodø Glimt were threatening again. Mumbanya involved once more as he headed Vetleson's deep delivery back across goal, only for Saltnes to head against the outside of the post. Brann took over half an hour to pose any kind of threat, Mura's effort being blocked from close range. A half-hearted clearance saw the ball at Heltner Nielsen's feet, and his low drive was tipped wide by Koke Vegas. Having established a foothold in the match, Brann took the lead 5 minutes before the break, some neat passing finishing with a reverse pass from Finne to release Blomberg, who duly dispatched the opener. Bodø Glimt started the second half the brighter and were back on terms when, after good work by Sawley on the left, he found Mumbanya, who in turn laid the ball back for Saltnes to fire home, although Vetlesen claimed the final touch and was credited with the goal. Shortly after the hour mark, Brann restored their lead, Castro and Muller-Wolf exchanging passes before the Chilean winger took centre stage, cutting inside and firing in at the near post. Finne almost made it 3-1 after Vetlesen miscontrolled a pass in his own half, which was pounced on by Rasmussen. He fed Castro, who slid the ball across to Finne, but his shot cannoned back off the post. It wasn't long before Brann were celebrating their third though. Blomberg received the ball in position to cross, and his low delivery was missed by everyone except Castro at the far post, who gratefully tapped in to score. Bodø Glimt hit back without Brann touching the ball. Pallesen committed to a challenge on Henrico Durado, but the Brazilian slipped the ball round the corner into the empty space he'd vacated, and Saltnes drilled it into the corner, and this time he would be credited with the goal. The end-to-end nature of the game in the second half continued as Muller-Wolf and Finne combined to give Castro a chance to seal his hat-trick, only for him to fire wide. He did wrap up his hat-trick and the points with a gift of a goal moments later. Koke Vegas played the ball out to Bjortuft, who wasn't paying attention, allowing Castro to fire into the unguarded net to make it 4-2. In injury time, Dingeland produced a brilliant point-blank save from Saltnes to deny Bodø Glimt a way back into the match and allow Brann to stay perfect on the season. Again, it took Brann a while to get going on their travels, but the moment that opened the scoring was well worth waiting for. A slick interchange between Rasmussen and Finne found Castro just outside the box, and he wasted no time unleashing a beautifully placed effort into the far corner beyond the despairing Grytebust. Just after the hour mark, Castro directed a corner towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Heltner Nielsen rose highest to direct it into the far corner and give Brann a 2-goal lead. Finne thought he'd made it 3-0 in the 71st minute, only to be flagged for offside as he latched onto Mura's through ball, VAR confirming the very tight call as correct. It wasn't the striker's day, as he thought he'd scored with 10 minutes remaining after another excellent ball from Mura, only to be flagged offside again. This one looked a little more clear-cut though, and his personal disappointment at having 2 goals chalked off will be tempered by Brann's 4th win from 4. The star man from April, as far as we are concerned, was definitely Chilean left-winger Nicolas Castro. Perhaps responding to the arrival of Jairo Velez to challenge for his starting spot, Castro has started the season in magnificent form, racking up 4 goals and 4 assists in the first 4 matches. His shooting stats are impressive with almost 4 shots per game, hitting the target about 45% of the time, both figures that put him in the upper echelon in the elite Syrian. His creativity is even more impressive as he has been setting up his teammates at a rate of a goal a game, half a goal more than anyone else in the division. We've had a great start to the season that's seen us go top of the table and already with a 3-point lead and a win over one of our title rivals. The next couple of months see us play another 7 league matches, and we also begin our cup campaign away to lowly Egersund. Be sure to come back next time to see if we can maintain a great start or if it all starts to crumble to dust around me. Until then, like, comment and subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.